The Grow My Cleaning Company podcast helps owners of cleaning companies just like you to grow your company and yourself so you can make more money and finally get the time and money freedom that probably got you into this business. Discover how to automate and create systems that allow you to grow like crazy without losing control. If you dig the show and want to show some love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. It really helps. Enjoy the show. Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with Amy Jo Hood. This young lady started Amy Jo's Cleaning March 2019. We're recording this back half of 2022, so she got 3.5 years in it. In Poplar Bluff, Missouri, she went from just Mary cleaning to 12 employees doing 60 residential clients, 10 commercial accounts. And welcome to the show, Mary.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Good to have you on. All right, before we jump into your question, 3 years going from 0 to 12 employees. That's a nice little start. Any just feedback you can give or encouragement to Cleaning Nation before we get into me coaching you?
Encouragement to Cleaning Nation will be listen to this podcast. Cleaning Nation, the Grow My Cleaning Company podcast is actually what led me to go from solo part-time cleaner to full-time hiring and the desire to create my own company.
Well, I got to tell you, I wish I could say Amy and I had some sort of deal where I'd paid her to say that, but that's just what girlfriend said. So I appreciate the kind words. Good news is, if you're hearing the sound of my voice, you're already listening to the podcast, so you're sold. You're in. So, honestly, Amy, we spent a lot of time and money on the podcast, and hearing people's lives change and businesses grow is why we do it. So that really does encourage me. All right, now that the love fest is over, enough of that nonsense. Let's get you some help today. What's going on in your world I can help you with right now?
Well, I know I have to keep hiring. After listening to you for about 2 years, no, more like 5 years, I finally got it through my head. I have to keep hiring. What hiring platform would you suggest for my hiring funnel? I mean, I know there are people out there. I have to find them.
Really good question. Really thoughtful question. So first, let me piggyback on what Amy said. So many of the clients that we work with, especially the higher levels, when they come in, are similar to you, or I shouldn't say similar to you, but similar to probably most of you, Cleaning Nation, and maybe Amy, where I just, I don't know, I don't have enough people, blah, blah, blah. And they fight like cats and dogs to keep hiring, because they'll go from literally complaining, I had to clean, I don't have enough people, blah, 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 to literally, I've got hundreds of recorded clips of people going, Mike, I got to turn off my funnel. It's too many people. I can't handle it. And it's like, guys, that's a feature, not a bug, right? Having too many people that you can't hire them all. That's the goal. That's the dream. So when you get there, the response isn't, oh, something's going wrong, I need to change everything. The response is, I'm doing it right. I need to keep doing this. We always want more people that want into our party that we can. It'd be like the nightclub going, oh no, there's a line outside. We better stop advertising. No, you want the line outside. That's what makes it attractive. So anyway, don't miss the wisdom in Mary Jo's. Hey, always gotta be hiring. Always gotta be hiring. Okay. That said, that's helpful to Cleaning Nation. Not at all helpful to Mary Jo. She's like, I just gave that coaching. That didn't help me. Let's help Mary Jo.
Amy Jo.
God bless America. I said Mary Jo 49 times. Amy is so sweet. She let me go 48 times before she corrected me. We're not talking to Mary Jo. I don't even know a Mary Jo. This is Amy Jo. Attack with that Mary Jo lady. If it makes you feel better, you call me Steve the rest of the podcast and we'll be square, Amy Jo. Because the AMY, it's 3 of the 4 letters in Mary. So I don't know where I put that R in and rearranged it, but I decided you look like a Mary to me. But Amy Jo in the house. Let's get her some help. So that question is, some form of that is common, and it can be asked, where should I advertise to get employees? Another version is, where should I advertise to get customers? I don't say the problem, the weakness of that question, or the part of that question that's going to not serve you, Amy, or Mary, or Cleaning Nation, is it's got an embedded assumption. And a lot of questions can be that way, right? Like if I asked Amy Jo, when did you stop beating your husband? Like, there's really no way she can answer. Like, it's embedded with there's an assumption in there that's not super helpful to the conversation if I want to be friends with Amy or her husband, right? Because it obviously assumes that she's beating her husband, which, God willing, is not the case. She's ready to beat me if I keep calling her Mary, but that's a different story for a different time. So embedded in the where should I advertise to get employees, or where should I advertise to get customers, is a little bit of an assumption where I advertise is the magic. So I'm definitely going to answer your question. but I want to make sure we're clear on where the magic is, and you feel good about that, and then where to get leads, because I'm happy to give an answer, but that's not the magic, right? So what most people miss, and I kind of blame marketers, and I consider myself a marketer, so don't hear me throwing stones. But I never want anyone to think if you just listen to Mike and the podcast, that's all it takes. I'll be rich and famous. Like, I wish we were that good of a podcast. We're not. It'll help, and you'll grow further, faster, and save a bunch of time and money and headache. But there's other things to it. So a lot of times, I think overzealous marketers for Indeed, for Monster, for GoDaddy, for ZipRecruiter, for Craigslist, and on the marketing side for Facebook, for Google AdWords, for Every Door, direct mail, postcard, whatever it is, the Chamber of whoever it is, they all kind of want to present. If you just give us money, or if you just become a client of ours, that will be the magic. And I wish I could tell you there was a magic, but there is not. So while there is magic, it just isn't with Indeed or ZipRecruiter or Monster.com or any of that. The magic is having core values based copy. So if my hiring ad sounds like everyone else's hiring ad, which would be something like fast growing company looking for hardworking individuals, paid training, flexible schedules, competitive pay, everyone's like, holy crap, that's my ad. So with that ad, no offense, I can put it just about anywhere I want. And it's, as long as there's another ad, because all the ads are going to be exactly the same, they're basically going to go, well, who pays the most, right? Because all the ads kind of generally say the same thing. If I do a core values based ad, for me, our core values are have fun, make money, be real, and help out. It's going to be, do you love having fun at work? Is helping other people what fires you up? Do you love making money? And are you real? You don't want to have to put on a mask before you go to work. The people that are core values match are like, oh my gosh, that's me. So the magic's in the ad and the copy. And I wish I could say, for those of you writing, oh, I'm just going to copy Mike's ad. You have to have a whole hiring funnel, right? So if you have an ad that's super core values based, but then they've been there for 10 seconds and they're like, this doesn't work at all, then obviously that's not going to work. So we need really a core values based ad that leads into a core values based hiring funnel that leads into a company run by core values. So that at the fundamental, and I'm going to answer your question about the lead source, I promise. But the fundamental foundation of this is, do we have a core? Are we clear on what our core values are? Start to finish, through employees hearing about us, responding to an ad, showing up to an interview, going through training, showing up every day to work. Are they being invited to live out the core values that match them? And if the answer is yes, you put that ad anywhere, it's going to kick butt and take names. But if you get a crap ad, you can put it anywhere, it's going to struggle. Okay. So that said, the magic is in your core values based funnel and the culture that you have. You get a good culture, you get to the point you don't even need an ad, because you got, you get a dozen or so employees. Your next best employee is probably friends with your current best employees. Good, high quality people tend to hang out with good, high quality people. Losers tend to hang out with losers. So once you've got all the people that aren't a fit out, and it's just good quality people, once you get to like 20, 30 cleaners, you might get half or more of your best employees just from referrals, right? Or if you're just loud enough with your core values, the community kind of knows who you are, and people want to be a part of it. So that said, the reason I'm glad we're talking about this today is Indeed is moving from their old pricing, which is you give us money, to their new fangled paper applicant. But the paper applicant is like 10, 20, 30 bucks a knock, and it's terrible. We've actually talked with them and got some inside information that it's not working on their end like they'd hoped either. So I thought it was just Cleaning Nation that was not loving that. We've gotten some feedback from someone on the inside, so to speak, that is not working out the way that they'd hoped either. So if and when Indeed goes back to their regular spot, I think they'll become a good place again. That said, I've been screaming at my clients mostly, and a little bit to you guys in Cleaning Nation, as Indeed's been a really good place to get cleaners for quite a while with the good core values. Again, problem is everyone puts out a garbage ad that's the same as everyone else. Like, Indeed doesn't work. It's like, Indeed ain't the problem. Your ad's the problem. You put a good ad. And I've been screaming at people, whether it's one source for clients, one source for employees, if you've got one customer that's half your revenue, one employee that does half your work, you're an employee that does half your work, that's a big single point of failure, right? If something happens with that lead source or that employee, that customer, we got a problem. So even when Indeed was great, I was still yelling at people, find another place, find another place, find another place. So I won't say the secret stuff, but the stuff we walk our clients through once they've got a good core values based company and hiring funnel, because without that, it doesn't make any difference. Once we have that, is the magic, the nuance to that is you find who your best customers are. So it's going to be different for all of you. Some of you might be men, some might be women, some older, some younger, some Hispanic, some not Hispanic. And don't hire based on race, you'll get in trouble, or don't exclude based on race. But you can be clear, hey, generally, like when I had my cleaning company, adult men with full-time jobs and a family tended to work out really well. When I had my construction company, we had a lot of Hispanics that were just amazing human beings. Doesn't mean I wouldn't hire white people. I'm a white guy, or other races, but I kind of knew where the demographics of my target hire, and I could find out where they hung out. And let me tell you, Hispanic communities are tight, and they, you might advertise in a movie theater that, has English movies dubbed in Spanish, or there might be a radio station or a podcast. And by the way, always check with local labor laws and national labor. Never discriminate. You can't do that, but you can advertise in places where you think your perfect prospect is going to be around. So the good news is Indeed is nice because it's scale, and Indeed, like things, scale. Like they might have thousands of applicants, especially if you're in a big city. But the problem is they're not niched. So that's the least niche thing ever. They scale nice, but you might have to go through 50, 60, 70 applicants to get one good employee. You get the most niched, but the least scalable would be referrals, right? A friend, an employee of yours, like, oh my gosh, I love working here. My friend Steve, I'm always talking about how great my job is. He wants to work here. That's the least scalable, because how many friends do I have, right? But it's super niched. Steve is already a friend of a person. He's already, you know what I'm saying? I might, to get a hire from Indeed, I might need 60, 70 people. To get a hire from an employee, I might need one, right? Like I might hire one for one or one for two. So I would go more niched, right? And the nice thing is that the nicher it gets in real life, it's more expensive. Like if you focus, I'm a heart surgeon versus a general practitioner, you get to charge more. The nice thing with advertising for clients, when you niche, it gets cheaper, right? Indeed, big audience, lots of money. But if you're like, say you're a residential cleaner predominantly, and you found that moms that have kids, they just want to get out of the house for a couple hours, are great prospective employees, you might find a mom blogger that specializes in your area that can't have that much, because how many moms could there be in, what's your city? Poplar Bluff, Missouri. You know what I'm saying? So she might be a king in there, but still, you give her $100 to advertise on her blog. She's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Indeed's not going to be that way. So the short answer is, make sure you've got a core values-based community and hiring funnel, or nothing's going to work. Once you've got a good core values-based ad that's going to attract the right people, put it in front of the right people. So Indeed's great because they can bring a lot of firepower, but they fiddle with their pricing. And again, you might have to go through a lot. You get the right moms group, the right church group, the right something where your perfect people hang out. Maybe it's only $50. It's cheap. And maybe you only get 5 or 10 hires a year from that. But you get 3 or 4 or 5 of those resources, you can kind of fly into, and you're going to be the only one on there. Indeed, you're going to be one of 10 other cleaners. Your church group, your mom's group, a podcast, something like that. You're probably going to be the only one. So did they answer your question in terms of kind of how to think about this whole thing?
Yeah, that helped a lot. I never really thought about mom's groups or that kind of.
And again, things like Indeed or Facebook, they're expensive, and they've done a great job aggregating a large audience. So it's less work, right? Because you can just throw money at it. But if and when they start stinking and by the way, Indeed's either going to reverse course and get better, or someone's going to fill that void. Someone's going to come in and be like, oh, Indeed, futzed with their pricing. Now we're going to come in and do something different. So the void's not going to be left open for long. But that ability to find little pockets that aren't as competitive and aren't as expensive, they may not have as much reach, but the fits are better, right? There might be a higher conversion rate. That's good. You get that down when the next time Indeed, because it's always going to be, remember Friendster, that's gone. Remember, gosh, there's been so many social media places that are gone. And remember the Yellow Pages, gone. There's all sorts of crap that's gone. So at some point, Indeed will be gone. But you already kind of have yourself set up. All right. We have gone long. Cleaning Nation, if that's been helpful and you like more of this kind of stuff, go to growingcleaningcompany.com. We have over 850 podcasts. I got a couple books on Amazon, growingcleaningcompany.com. Everything's there. Check it out. See you there. Well, here we are, the end of the podcast, and you made it. Great job. I've got a little bonus for you for sticking through with me. But like I mentioned before, if you got value out of this podcast and you want to show a little love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever the heck you're listening to this thing. Share with a friend. Share the love. And as a special thank you for those of you that stuck with me to the end, how about I give you my personal phone number so we can text? It's a great way for me to get to know you, your business, your goals personally. So shoot me a text now, 602-932-6431. That's 602-932-6431. I am the only one who responds to these texts, and I will personally respond to everyone I possibly can as long as this number is manned. Don't know how long we're going to keep this at the end of the podcast, so grab it now. 602-932-6431. Give me a text, say hey, can't wait to meet you.